back to Flexcandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. I'm Flex, and today we're diving into a full top-down analysis on Bitcoin. We're going to start from the higher time frames, work our way down to the lower time frames, and check to see if we find any good setups. Now remember, this is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. Alright guys, it's about 3:23 p.m. Eastern time, and the price of Bitcoin is currently at $114,000. Starting off here with the 2-week chart, we closed here with a red candle. We ended up closing though at $112,162. So this is great because we spent a lot of last week under 110k, and we came through last moment and closed above 110k. So this is pretty bullish to me. We're still above the 21 moving average, which is at 102,755, and the stochastics RSI, you see that we're on the way down, but now we're starting to see a little curve. Again, this could also just fully roll over, but showing a little curve here is giving us some type of hope. We head over to the weekly chart, which also closed yesterday. It was looking bad with this red engulfing candle. It was looking like an evening star, and we actually went below the 21 moving average. We went as low as 108,620, but again, we closed above 112k. So that's really what matters, is when we close. And the 21 moving average was at 111,770, and we were able to remain above the 21 moving average. This head and shoulder pattern could have played out here, but now we're starting to get a green candle. Again, we still have a week before this closes, but it's looking better. Here, unfortunately, it does look like we want to roll over on the weekly stochastics, but let's see what ends up happening. Maybe we could redirect and start going back up as the week goes on. Now, on the other time frames, like the 6-day time frame, we got above the 21 moving average, starting to see a little rollover there on the stochastics. On the 5-day chart, looks like we want to roll over on the stochastics. Same thing with the 4-day chart. On the 3-day chart, I'm starting to see a little bit of a curve back up. Let's see if that could save us. We bounce back up above the 50 moving average, which was at 111,076. The 21 moving average is currently at 114,314. Let's see if we can make it up there soon. This candle closes in about a day and 5 hours. Now on the 2-day chart, stochastics are still on the way down. We still have room to continue going down, but the RSI is pointing up. And look at this nice green engulfing candle that we have. This candle closes today in about 4 hours and a half. So if we could close this above the 21 and the 50 moving average, this is going to be very bullish, and this could kind of be some type of a double bottom that's happening. Let's see what happens when we close. Now on the daily chart yesterday, this is great. A couple of days ago, we had this big red engulfing candle that brought us all the way down as low as 108,631. Then we had a slightly green candle, an indecisive red one. Now we had two big candles the past 2 days. The stochastics on the RSI have rolled up. We reset, and the RSI is also on the way up, and it looks like we're kind of above the 21 moving average, currently at 113,943. Again, we have 4 hours and a half before this closes. If we could close here, that would be good. And again, this is kind of giving me some type of a double bottom vibe here. Now, yesterday's candle, now today we were able to go as high as 114,231. It's very important that we get above all these moving averages, especially this 80, which is at 115. That will keep us bullish as well. The other time frames, a 22-hour time frame, we're on the way up, but look, we're regaining the 200 moving average. On the 12-hour, we're regaining the 200 moving average. On the 10-hour, we're trying to get there. We're getting close. We still have a little room on the stochastics. It is starting to get a little toppy. On the 8-hour, we're getting a little toppy, and we haven't been able to cross the 200. It's important that we do that. 6-hour, we got above the 200, so this is looking good. So that means that the next one that we need to go over is the 8-hour one. Now on the 4-hour time frame, this is my favorite time frame. This is what dictates to me if we're bearish or bullish, and we're back above the 200, and we're well above the 21 moving average. We are kind of far away from the 21 moving average. That's at 110,391. So after this big move, we might be going here sideways and let the 21 moving average catch up to price range before we could continue going up. Stochastics are a little toppy here. At some point, we are going to roll over. Now, what we want to look for when we roll over is when we reset, we do not want to lose this 200 moving average. If we do lose it, we definitely do not want to lose this 21 moving average. Now, if you guys remember, I have 3 patterns happening here. Pattern number 1 is this cup and handle move that takes us to about 125k. This is the handle here. I'm going to have to elongate it a little bit, the handle, but if we elongate it, we would see that we actually got back into that handle part. This is why I did not want to erase this, because even though we got below the handle, I've seen this before where we just come back into it. So right now, the cup and handle is valid, and we even broke out a little bit. We could end up going to 125 soon. I expect this to come down at least to the bottom of this range, which is like around 111,500, maybe 112k. Now, the other move that I had was this this bear flag. And if we zoom in, we could see that we were tracing it perfectly, but then we broke out of it. This bear flag would have taken us all the way down to about 104K and change. And I didn't want that to happen, but that was a possibility. Now, the other possibility was the inverted head and shoulders. At some point, this looked like the bear flag was going to play out, but now it kind of looks like the inverted head and shoulders is going to play out. With the left shoulder, I was telling you that this is the head. We would have to make it up at least to the 80 moving average, which we did. We just surpassed it. And now we have to come back down and make a right head, which makes sense with the stochastics RSI that we might be doing that. Now I have to reshape this head and shoulder because I drew this before I even anticipated the whole head playing out. So now this is the left shoulder, this is the head, which is perfect. And now I was anticipating that this will be the right shoulder. I told you guys we go up to the 80 moving average, then we come down, make the right shoulder somewhere around here, and then from there we could blast up. And if this is the case, more or less this measured move will kind of take us to about almost 118K. So that's what I'm anticipating. I'm expecting to roll down, hopefully stay within this cup and handle, and then explode out, and then hit this inverted head and shoulders, and then finish off the cup and handle as well. Let's see if that ends up playing out. This bear flag at the moment did not play out, so let's take that out of the way. Thank God the bulls came back and they helped us, and let's see if this is going to be the savior that helps us continue being bullish. Let's head over to the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour chart, the stochastics are on the way down, starting to see a little roll here. Maybe we want to go back up. We're starting to flag out here sideways. We got the cross of the 21 moving average and the 200 moving average. This is bullish. If we could continue going sideways until this 21 moving average catches up to price range, it looks like we could blast up from here. So let's anticipate a flag forming here, and the measure move to this flag would take us to about 116,166. This could be the first thing to break us up out of the handle of the cup and handle, and also start giving us some of the measured move of this inverted head and shoulder on the 4 hour time frame here. So let's anticipate this flag as well. We have a lot of patterns here that we are anticipating. Let's see if all of them can hit. That would be perfect. Now we head over to the 15-minute chart. We see that the stochastics were on the way up, but we're starting to roll over, and look, it's going perfectly with this flag that I just drew. The 21 moving average is touching price range. We could probably start a breakout here soon if the 15-minute stochastics could start rolling back up. Now that we're above 110K, we are back to the range between 110K and 120K. So I'm expecting for the cup and handle to eventually break out, and I see us possibly going to 125K. Let's see what ends up happening. Again, if we lose 110K, then the next stop is going to possibly be 104K. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you a clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe. And if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is Flexcandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.